In this edition of Idle Gossip, famous foul mouths, secluded superstars, and the vogue of Minogue. Oh dear, not again. Another Hollywood Awards night. What do they need gold statues or golden spherical thingies for anyway? Deep down inside, they know they're good. Alas, performers' egos are furry and need to be stroked. It's the fashion police on safari in Hollywoodland. Starting off with Scarlett Johansson and her dress, which captured the off-the-shoulder glamour of a muffin wrapper. Look at her just pop out the top like a well-baked lemon and poppy seed delight. Not that she was delighted with the question asked about her unmentionables.
Excuse me?
Nicole has the air and grace of royalty, but this true bird of paradise is asking for trouble with the peacock feathers adorning the Gucci gown. They're said to bring bad luck. Better her than me. Sarah Ferguson made one of her comebacks, but who really cared? Because these award presentations are about stars, I tell you, not media grabbers. And that lacy frock is abominable. What's the colour? Wet toad? Blah. Halle Berry power walked in all on her ownsome, almost falling out of the top. Power walking can be done anywhere. If you've got 5 minutes, give it to the buns, I say. Minnie Driver working the carpet to the max in a dress of slinky snake-like stuff. As herself, she's stunning. As Carlotta in Phantom, she's more like a lorry driver. And Raquel, she's seen a few awards shows, I can tell you. Madam, please. It's like seeing your mother drunk. It wouldn't be Hollywood without product placement.
Roberto Cavalli. Yeah, and the back's very nice.
The back, madame, is just as bad as the front.
Some people look wonderful, darling, and some people would be better off wearing the red carpet, if you know what I mean.
You can say that again. Join us next time for another edition of the Fashion Police. Every young celebrity lady has a past, and some of the famous girls have a lot to be thankful for. Because growing up under the watchful eye of the camera isn't all it's cracked up to be. A firm hand is needed, or even better, the right connections to get a girl where she wants to go. Thank God for their parents, standing by with support and encouragement. But naturally, in the land of make-believe, things are not always that simple. Lindsay Lohan is a young starlet on the rise. She started out as a child model, signed to the Ford agency from age 3. Now considered a bankable star, Lindsay has her eye on conquering the recording business as well, after signing a 5-album deal. Lindsay's success is sadly a little tarnished, as her relationship with her dad Michael is said to be shaky, to say the least.
No. I give him a chance.
She was allegedly advised by studio execs to distance herself from him after he reportedly assaulted ex-wife Dina's brother at a family celebration. He is now on charges for drink driving, and he was not admitted to see her when she went to hospital with a fever recently. Lindsay's apparent self-discipline and good girl characteristics will probably stand her in good stead for her future as a star.
We need Hermione. Is she here yet?
I got here hours ago. I've been in the library researching cloaking spells.
And if they don't, Mother Dina will be there on the sidelines with all the support a doting stage mother can give. Relationship complications are often a regular facet of Hollywood life. Just look at Angelina Jolie and her father, actor Jon Voight. Their on-again, off-again relationship is as volatile as a Hollywood divorce.
The estrangement continues, and I'm always thinking about my daughter.
Angelina's career began performing alongside her father at the age of 5. She had acting in her blood, but became estranged from John when her parents separated. Angelina healed the rift with her Oscar winner dad while shooting the film Tomb Raider. Then it all very publicly went wrong.
What have you got me into this time?
Angelina cut ties with John, who went public on a celebrity gossip program, making a tearful plea to Angelina to get help.
Angelina is my dear daughter.
Resilient Angelina naturally retains her poise and power, coming out from behind her personal shadows and obviously leaving her issues with Daddy in the past, where they belong.
Old and wise.
Thankfully, there are the odd families that, after the shock of stardom hits and the dust settles, keep their feet on the ground. It doesn't get any more apple pie than the story of country act The Judds. This tale of a mother-daughter music sensation who made it to the top and the little sister who found fame on the big screen has the makings of a movie itself. Single mum and nurse, Naomi played and sang with oldest daughter Wynnona. Their music sold successfully and the act was huge around the world. Yeehaw! Meanwhile, stunning Ashley went to Hollywood and made it to the A-list in a few short years. Still tied to mummy's apron strings, Ashley turning down roles that involved nudity or sex, citing her mother's years of hard work was not for her to tarnish by appearing cheap. To relieve stress, Ashley likes to bake chocolate chip cookies. Hopefully she does it on the quiet, for her sister Wynnona has had terrible weight problems during her career. Imagine the drama if there were a couple of rouseabout southern boys thrown in there too. It'd be like a country and western version of the royal family. Family does mean something in Hollywood. Normally, magazine sales and headlines. All that aside, the parents can be just as much a hindrance as a help. Family ties that bind can get pretty uncomfortable when fame and fortune is at stake. One night during her Latin American tour, Alanis Morissette played her first ever gig in Peru, entertaining 14,000 screaming fans. Hot-tempered Peruvian patriots were still screaming long after the concert, which Alanis ended with the accidental shout-out, "Thank you, Brazil!" Celebrities get away with murder sometimes. We don't condone that kind of behaviour, but something has to be done about those celebrities who insist on using swear words and cheap, lewd expletives all the time. Some actually have begun to change their ways. Like Madonna, who has been known to be slovenly in her speech over her career. Now a married mother of 2, Madge and hubby Guy Ritchie have banned swearing in their home for the sake of their children's virgin ears. To get around this communication complication, the couple have resorted to spelling the expletives in their conversations or arguments.
He just wants to me.
Now, if you slip up in their home, you owe £3 to the swear box. Times have changed. Only a few years ago, you would never hear any of the words freely broadcast on most late-night movies or TV shows. But now, a simple warning gives free license to programmers to inundate the airwaves with potty talk. And it's disgraceful. You'd be shocked if I said to you right now that I think Anna Nicole Smith is a wouldn't you? Of course you would, even if it was true. The Osbourne Show is a look into the life of your everyday metalhead dad, potty mouth extraordinaire Ozzy and his Brixton-born wife Sharon. When it comes to lowbrow words, need we go on? No wonder their children are so unruly with the vile talk they've been brought up with.
I don't really give two shits, to be honest.
Sharon is typically unapologetic about her language in the show, stating that is how she lives at home and won't change for the cameras. but has promised that she will tone down the profanity with her new talk show. Well, it's about time too. Ozzy toned it down too for a charity fundraiser UK, where his mouth was taped, claiming he would raise a fortune by cutting bad language for 24 hours. We should be so lucky. Colin Farrell's normal conversation is flowered with rude invectives, and he just doesn't stop. Yes, he's earthy and yes, he's real, but Colin, could you watch the language? There might be kids watching.
Don't you feel a bit
What is society coming to? Is the English language to end up on the slag heap of morality, along with everything else held near and dear? Hopefully not, because being a potty mouth is plain rude, crude and unattractive, and the celebrities should know better.
Are we in Hassel Elton? Hey!
Celebrity, a word that can strike excitement into the hearts of us mere mortals. But in the past, it has been a curse to some who have attained its mythical status. Occasionally, a superstar decides it's all over. They can't take the pressure anymore. And, to coin a phrase, they want to be alone. Howard Hughes, magnate, movie mogul and hypochondriac, was not seen publicly or photographed for 20 years before he died in 1976.
Ladies and gentlemen, Howard Hughes.
The Aviator, starring Leonardo DiCaprio as Hughes, captures the story of this eccentric who ended his charmed life a sad, sick, paranoid recluse. Throughout his life, he owned an international airline, a major motion picture studio, mining properties, gambling casinos, had built and flown the world's largest airplane, and produced and directed a clutch of movies.
Well, I've had just about enough of this nonsense.
He left an estate estimated at $2 billion. Equally famous for being a recluse is Swedish-born Greta Garbo. Her famous statement, "I want to be alone," a catchphrase for all recluses. Once the #1 asset of LB Mayer's MGM, she abandoned Hollywood for New York and was occasionally snapped by photographers who knew she wandered Central Park, her face wrapped in a scarf.
Hey, Stella!
Marlon Brando pioneered a new style of realism in film performance and was awarded 2 Academy Awards for his acting. But his fame tarnished in his eyes, and he saw through the glitter of Hollywood. In his maturing years, Brando let it all go and got very fat. He just didn't seem to care and wanted to distance from the images of himself from his early career. Brando seemingly disappeared from view altogether until his role as the Godfather, and once again, he was hot property. Brando worked rarely, performing cameos in brilliant movies like Apocalypse Now.
You're neither.
And silly ones like Superman. Save the very occasional role, the Hollywood great was invisible to the public until his recent death. Control freak extraordinaire, Barbra Streisand has just about done it all. Her performances are as rare gets. She has maintained a career revered and respected worldwide. Among her accolades, she was the first person to win a Grammy, an Emmy, an Oscar and a Tony. She is considered the queen of show business. Barbara hit the silver screen with a string of hits throughout the 70s and then promptly vanished, save those very rare little film projects that she tends now to write, direct, produce and of course star in.
What is that? That's Greg getting circumcised.
Barbara also admits to a severe fear of performing. So, once reaching her much-awarded pinnacle, decided she would gig no more.
I love you too.
Well, only every 10 to 15 years or so. Her last concert performance in New York netting over $14 million alone for one show. Expensive it is to see La Streisand, but hey, it's Barbara. That voice is like butter. Another famous Swedish recluse is Agnetha Folkskog, singer from 70s supergroup ABBA. She is known to despise the celebrity spotlight and refuse to participate in promotions for a new album, her first in 17 years. The much-troubled songstress also failed to appear at an event in London to mark the success of the ABBA musical Mamma Mia. Agnetha has lived in seclusion on a small island off the coast of Sweden since the split in 1983 and has admitted to hating the fame she gained being a member of one of the world's biggest groups. Privacy is a rare commodity for the big stars, but like the star who wanted to be alone, all they have to do is stop making movies and performing and blend in with the rest of society. But as we know, this happens rarely because we think most stars just love it all too much. Why do people equate multiple marriages with the lifestyle of a star? There's no reason for anyone not to remarry if separated from their spouse permanently. They say love always finds a way. It sure did for Elizabeth Hilting, Wilding, Todd, Fisher, Burton, Warner, Fortensky. Of course we mean Liz Taylor, who has been married so many times, her side of the family refuse flatly to give wedding presents. Poor Liz. It seems she can never find the one. What if there isn't a one? No, I'm not going to shoot this story down in flames. This is a special story about the institution of marriage, which is sacred and... oh, who am I kidding? All you have to do is recount Britney Spears' 48-hour union to her childhood pal Jason Alexander, which she did just to see what it felt like, to know not a lot is sacred when you've lived La Vida celebrity. But Britney's wedded bliss, which lasted the duration of the average gastric bug, is not to be outdone by Zsa Zsa Gabor's celebrity marriage speed record of one day. With all the frivolity still in the air, the marriage was annulled straight after because she had not yet divorced husband number 7.
Pay no attention to him, Victor. He's a cynic. He doesn't believe in love.
Zsa Zsa is famously quoted for saying, "I am a marvellous housekeeper, darling. Every time I leave a man, I keep his house." There's plenty of man hussies out there too. Billy Bob Thornton has married and divorced 4 out of 5 of his wives within 2 years. That includes Amazonian Angelina Jolie. The idiot? Steven Spielberg, Burt Reynolds and Harrison Ford have all married twice. Harrison has divorced again and hasn't married girlfriend Callister Flockhart. He now falls into the category of older guy with younger chick, much younger. But that story belongs in another show. The current bright young things in Tinseltown find marriage a worthy institution, many tying the knot in their 20s. But who knows what the future holds? Look at Joan Collins. She married husband number 5 at the age of 68. And he was 32 years her junior. Hubba hubba. And most of the multi-married, such as Liz, Joan and Zsa Zsa, are mature. Which is what makes it all terribly funny. Australia's best little export has experienced all the highs and lows of a career in the world of pop stardom. Kylie Minogue has sung, danced and acted her way into the hearts and minds of fans around the world. It all began with child actress Kylie from Melbourne appearing in Australian soap operas from a young age. By the time she was in her teens, Kylie was a sensation in Neighbours as a tomboy mechanic. During her time on the show, she was offered a record deal with English pop producers Stock Aitken and Waterman. Her first offering, a ditty titled I Should Be So Lucky, became a #1 in Europe, and Kylie said goodbye to TV and hello to superstardom. Britain couldn't get enough of her, and she moved to London to further her recording career. She recorded 4 very successful but very disposable pop albums, and when her first contract was due to expire, she set out for greener pastures that would offer her more control and creative input into the business of being Kylie pop phenomenon. In this time, Kylie evolved from off-the-rack sweet girl next door to luscious, sexy, good time girl ready to party. She also dated Michael Hutchence. He was quoted as saying of his new lady that his favourite hobby was corrupting Kylie. A long-term thing it was not, and a distraught Kylie was dumped by Hutchence, who began an affair with Helena Christensen. Congruent with the title of one of her best songs, Kylie has not been so lucky in love, and the UK tabloid newspapers often run commentary on her relationships, as well as regular unfounded pregnancy rumours. Kylie has kept something about herself from the public for a long time, but she has recently revealed her secret. No, she wasn't born a man. She has a preoccupation with superstition. She admits to beginning each day by turning her breakfast teapot 3 times clockwise and once anti-clockwise. She never walks under ladders and throws salt over her shoulder. Ms. Minogue certainly will be keeping up these customs, as her luck throughout her career has been phenomenal. She is one of a handful of pop stars who have recorded #1 hits in the 80s, 90s and noughties. However, not everything Kylie has touched has turned to gold. In her native Australia, there was a time when her music was ignored by radio programmers, and nicknamed the singing budgie, her voice was lampooned for being the most annoying sound known to man. At this early stage in her career, ongoing support from Kylie's huge gay following became apparent. For her fans, male and female alike, her appeal extends further than music. It's probably all about the feathers and skimpy disco outfit she wears, and her tiny 5'1" frame would fit nicely under the arm of any posturing gay man or woman as cute and zushy arm candy. Plenty of the female fans want to be her, and hey, quite a few of the boys do too. Often cited as matching Madonna in the popularity stakes, and visibly via her image and music styling, Kylie differs from pop mother Madge and has gone light on the dismal movie failures. Her movie roles have been few and only possible due to her high profile as a pop singer. The disco dynamo has, however, made it clear that she intends to focus on film acting and even producing in the near future.
Excites me and terrifies me at the same time. The thought of having to be... It's more difficult for me now to be believable as a character as opposed to, oh, there's Kylie being someone.
Whether pumping out the dance tracks or promoting her sexy knickers range, Kylie is a pop culture phenomenon. So unless she gives it all up to have babies, and as long as she keeps on turning that teapot, we've definitely not seen or heard the last of Kylie Minogue.